Do you ever feel like your business is growing, but you're working all day, you're drowning in tasks, and if you stop working, then your business stops working? Well, it doesn't have to be like that. I've helped countless 6, 7, and 8-figure business owners build a system to fix this exact problem so that they can scale faster while working less. And in this video, I'm going to show you that exact system so that you can just copy it, install it into your business, and take back control of your time, scale faster, and build a business that runs without relying on you for everything. Now you might be thinking, but Ross, I have this certain type of business. Will this work for me? Well, the answer is yes, so long as you're willing to make a change. Because you cannot expect things to change in your business if you do not make a change. I've used this exact system with businesses from hospitals to construction companies to e-com brands to plumbers to gym owners to design agencies and manufacturing companies. It doesn't matter what industry you're in, okay? It matters whether or not you're willing to make a change. So with that, let me show you step 1, and this is something almost no business owner does, but it is vital for your long-term success. See, most business owners never stop to ask themselves a simple question: what do I want? They just, react to what the business throws at them every day. And when you do that, you build a business that feels reactive, feels overwhelming, and takes up way more of your life than you ever planned or intended. So the first step is to define your constraints so that you can build the business that you actually want to build. Now, you do this by setting a goal, which is literally up to you. I can't help you with that. Just figure out what you want, commit to achieving it. With business is typically a revenue number, but then you want to create your ideal week. So figuring out exactly how you want your entire week to look. So decide when you work, when you stop, and what your rules are. Of course, you might not be able to follow that ideal week right away. That is fine. That's the point. You can move toward it over time. And the main thing is that it's a direction worth going in. So if you want to work 2 hours a day, cool. If you want to work 4 days a week, amazing. Or heck, if you want to work 16 hours a day, 29 days a week, that's fine. So long as it's something that you're choosing to do. But you first have to define that, okay? You have to define how you want your week to look, because without it, you have no anchor, no direction, no structure, no constraints. And so therefore, you have no reason to try and improve how you and your business operates. Like, I had a client, he runs a huge company that lots of people will have heard of, and he wanted to play golf every Wednesday. That was something in his ideal week, which made it super easy for him to then go and design his Wednesdays so that he could finish at 12 p.m. and go play golf. Not having these constraints is essentially like trying to build a house with no blueprint. You'll end up with a house, yes, of course, but it mightn't be the house that you wanted. So many people, business owners, build a business that entirely relies on them, stresses them out, and takes up every hour of their day, which ends up ruining their general satisfaction in life, which isn't good. And they end up resenting their business, which obviously, again, isn't good. Which, look, you started your business likely because you enjoy it to some degree. So let's keep it that way, okay? This is your life, this is your business, so run it how you want to run it. Don't let it run you. Now, quick one before step 2. If you already know that you want my help to reclaim 20+ hours a week without slowing down your growth, there's a link in the description below where you can find out more information about working with me. So now that you know the direction that you want to go in, let me show you step 2, because this is how you actually start to move towards your goals, towards that direction. See, a lot of tasks in your business, in fact, most of them will be recurring. And right now you might just do them whenever you find the time to do them, which as business owners, we know in reality that means you likely never do them, or maybe you do them randomly when you do find the time, and maybe then you feel guilty about not doing them or rushing them, and it creates a cycle. It is not good. And unfortunately, that's not going to help you work less and scale faster or be good for your business. So the solution here is to create your standard week where you choose on what days you'll do your recurring tasks that are the majority of your business. Maybe every Monday you do your team meeting, maybe every Tuesday and Thursday you choose to do all your content. How this looks doesn't really matter, it's entirely up to you. You just have to take all the tasks you do each week, decide when in the week you're going to do them. Now, for some things this will be obvious and set in stone, maybe like your team meeting every Monday. For others, it'll be up to you when you do them, and that'll actually be most of your tasks. And of course, there are ways to optimize this structure, but the main thing is that you have the standard week built so that you can follow it and therefore have structure and order in your weeks, hence better control of your time, and so you can guarantee you get the important tasks that actually matter for growing your business done. But if you want to do the work that actually matters, it means you have to do something so simple that almost no business owner does it. So say if you have tasks that you need to do, but you don't have a schedule for your day, then it is your own damn fault. If you want something done, it must be scheduled. Simple, okay? So every night you want to plan tomorrow. Now, that doesn't mean you just write a to-do list. No, you schedule the things that matter, because see if it's not scheduled, It will not happen when you run a business. You'll find a reason to put it off because some sort of fire will pop up, things always feel urgent, etc., etc. But those things are not important, and if you don't have a schedule, you'll simply prioritize the non-important but urgent things over the things that are actually important. Now, my rule in the MOS, my program, is that if you want something done, you must schedule to do it. See, one of my past clients came to me working, like 7 days a week and still not getting her important work done, which meant the business wasn't really going anywhere. But once we installed that system, which we just went over, her week was structured, it was organized instead of reactive, and everything changed. She now works less, sleeps more, earns more, and they're opening a second location. The only thing that changed was quite literally how she spent and how we optimized her time. But let me show you step 3, because this is how you make sure your schedule actually works. Because see, most business owners, they simply do far too many things. They treat every task like it is the most important task in the world. But your business only has 3 non-negotiable tasks that you need to prioritize over everything else. So you have a marketing task to get leads, a sales task to convert those leads, and a fulfillment task to deliver your product or service. Because think about it like this, right? If you only did those 3 tasks in your business, would your business still run? Yes, it would, right? Would your business still grow? Yes, it would. But if you stopped doing any of those 3 tasks, would your business still run? Would your business still grow? No, eventually it would fall apart. So those 3 tasks are the only tasks that are non-negotiable, and hence they're your priority, hence they're the most important things you can do. Then everything else, every other task, it will either be a project, like a one-off thing that you're working on that will create asymmetric returns, or it's a distraction. And honestly, you'd be fucking surprised at how many tasks you're doing each day that quite simply do not matter. Okay, go through your standard week after you've created it. So all the tasks you do in your business, see what can be eliminated, but also automated and delegated, and then, do that. And see your non-negotiables. You do them first every single day. Primarily, you do marketing first, because marketing is the most important task for growth in 99% of cases, because that's how you get leads to then get sales to then grow. Okay, but of course you have other tasks in your business that you need to do, and like I said, they'll either be a distraction that should be eliminated or delegated, or they'll be part of a strategic action. Strategic actions are what we call in the MOS big projects. So the likes of hiring, building new offers, launching new campaigns, systemizing, whatever else, okay? The things that you do once but move the business forward and create asymmetric returns. Okay, you should only ever have one strategic action at a time, unless you have a big team and can have, multiple people working on multiple different projects at once. Because otherwise, if you're trying to do 4 strategic actions, you'll spread yourself so thin that you'll barely make any progress in any of them. So focus really is the key here. The less you focus on, so the fewer things that you put your attention into, the more time and effort and attention you can actually put into one thing, and therefore the faster the progress you can make on that one thing and over the long run. You want to aim to delegate your non-negotiables over time, especially fulfillment and sales, because they're the lowest leverage out of those 3 non-negotiables. And in this day and age of the internet, I believe every founder of a business should be involved in marketing to some extent, so that your face can be the face of your brand. Like people buy from who they know, like, and trust. And so they're more likely to work with you if you're the face, because if your business doesn't have a face, a potential customer will find a business similar that does have a face and will be more likely to go to them because they'll build a connection with the founder. So having your face and voice involved in marketing, at least to some extent, will be an unfair advantage to your company, especially in the long run. Now, let me show you step 4, because this is how you fix one of the biggest time wasters that every entrepreneur faces. See, most entrepreneurs think that because they run a business, they need to be on top of all things all the time. So they multitask, they context switch, they check Slack 9 times an hour and emails 41 times an hour. And that's not a joke. Some people do that. And they deal with fires the moment they come up. Luckily, the fix here is really simple. You just need to do 3 things. Firstly, do all your important work in deep work blocks. These are 1 to 2 hour blocks of time where you focus entirely on a single task with 0 distractions. Secondly, you need to become world-class at distraction management. So remove all distractions, your phone, emails, apps, websites, whatever. I recommend installing Opal on your iPhone and Mac to have it set up during your deep work blocks to block every single thing but the task that you're working on. And then finally, and this is a big one, leave all fires, emails, messages, and problems until the end of the day. Yes, you heard me, okay? Anything that pops up throughout the day that, needs your attention right now, leave it until the last hour of your day and do it in what we call in the MOS your daily wrap. Every single business owner I get to do this at the start is like, what the heck? I don't know if I can do this. Is my business going to fall apart? And guess what? They do it. It changes everything. So trust me, you can leave problems, fires, and emails until the end of the day. You will not break your business if you do this. In fact, you'll actually train your team to solve things themselves because you're not there to hold their hand the entire day. So they do things themselves. And look, you can't build a business that runs without you. If you insist on doing everything all the time, you have to create some independence and forcefully step back, even when you don't think things are quite there yet. But let me show you step 5, okay? Because this is how you make the business run without you, and all these steps work so much better. And to do that, what you have to do is systemize your business, which, to start with this, what you want to do is map out all core 4 systems in your business. So marketing, sales, operations, and finance. Then you map out all the processes and tasks in those systems. I recommend doing this in something like Canva whiteboard, because once you've done it, it'll show you every single thing that happens in your business, why it happens, how it happens, and when it happens. Then you audit this, okay? So essentially go through every single step and ask yourself what can be eliminated or automated. Then you document the processes with SOPs, you assign ownership to your team members for each process and system, and then you build scorecards to track performance of each system. And those scorecards are crucial, okay? Because they give you data. With data, you can now see, oh, I'm getting this output from this system and I don't like it. Let me change this one input or this process in this system to see what difference it makes to this output, which means your job essentially becomes to tweak the input to improve the output. And you don't need to guess to do it. You just look at the data and know exactly what's working, what's not, and what to fix, which is exactly what creates consistent and stress-free growth. And all of a sudden, you've systemized your business, but what you'll probably notice is that you're still doing way too much to grow work in just, 4 hours a day. Maybe, you're still the one sending invoices. Maybe you're still closing sales. Who knows what you're doing? Maybe you're managing 19 tiny fulfillment tasks that basically take up your whole day, which means something has to change. And really with this, you've only got 2 options. Firstly, you eliminate the task, or secondly, you delegate the task. That is it. You do not have a third option, because say if a task takes you 1 hour, it takes you 1 hour. Simple. There's not much you can do to make it take less time. Like, okay, I'm recording this YouTube video. If it takes me 20 minutes, it takes me 20 minutes. Simple. There's nothing I can do there, right? And if you have 12 tasks to do each day, each of those tasks takes, say, 1 hour. That's 12 hours of work, and no amount of bloody hustle or productivity hacks or batching can change that. So if you want to work 4 hours a day, you have to either eliminate 8 hours of those tasks or delegate 8 hours of those tasks to someone else. Like the likes of online businesses, coaching, consulting, anything that's largely online based and less labor intensive, you can cut down to 4 hours a day pretty fast by just cutting out tasks. For other companies like construction companies or anything a bit more, labor intensive, brick and mortar stores, etc., you'll need to hand off fulfillment through delegation, and depending on your team, that might mean you need to hire new people. Either way, your systems map tells you exactly what to remove and exactly what to hire for, because with your systems map, you see what you're responsible for, and then you delegate what you're responsible for to other team members, or you will see if you need to hire. Essentially, you make other people responsible for the tasks you're responsible for, so that you're no longer responsible for them. Now, who you delegate to and whether you hire and what you hire for is really based on employee capacity and leverage, but I do have to leave some things for my clients who pay me a lot of money to help them work less and grow faster. So if you do want me to help you systemize your business and personal operations so you can scale faster while working less, click the link in the description below for more info. But let me show you the next step, because not to ruin all your dreams, but your systems will not be perfect immediately. In fact, they're not meant to be. That's not the point of systems. Like, a system is not a magic wand, Harry Potter style. It doesn't work like that. It makes everything about business so much easier, and it's what you need to eventually build if you want to scale faster and work less or exit or anything, right? You need systems, but it is not magic, and so you'll need to improve them and your business over time. Now, to do that, you need feedback. The most reliable form of feedback that you can get is data, which you get from the scorecards that you built when systemizing your business, okay? They will tell you how to improve your systems based on what metrics are underperforming, and by improving your systems, you will then improve your business. You start by systemizing yourself. So how you plan, how you prioritize, how you execute, how you think. Then you systemize your business so that it runs without you at a high standard. Then you track the data, you iterate, and you improve. And next thing you know, you can work as many hours as you want, still grow, and have a business that does not rely on you. Now, this is exactly what I help 6, 7, and 8-figure business owners do with the Mastery operating system. Now, obviously, this is an incredibly brief overview of the system, but if you want my help installing it inside your business, click the link in the description below and let's work together.